This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Sup everyone, Welcome Red Pill here. Today's topic I'm going to be talking about is how this coronavirus pandemic is killing more people than the coronavirus itself. Brand new topic for today. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, share the video. Let me know what you think. All is welcomed and God bless. So I'm going to continue to make videos, and I still am happy to know that there's a lot of people that still supports my channel, even though it's not a lot. But the more people that knows, the better. Now, people are feeding off of fear because of the media, and there's nothing new under the sun as of lately involving with this pandemic ending, with this whole quarantine ending, the whole coronavirus cure happening. And it's funny because yesterday while I was at work, a coworker of mine, he stated from his mouth, and he's about to retire soon, he said a few years from now, he won't be shocked that will be the time that they finally find a vaccine, because news is getting old. And I even said it to everyone that I knew, that all told me the exact same thing like a broken record. Oh, this is going to end next month. This is going to end in April. This is going to end in May. What's going on right now? The whole civilization right now in the U.S. markets and American businesses, schools, they could all reopen back up, but it's not going to be the same. The damage is already done. The media pushed a lot of false narratives. Of course, even this virus exists. I'm aware that people dies at a higher rate, but even before this whole quarantine pandemic, news feed had blown up on the media, on the internet, where people search through their smartphones, their TVs, etc., the news. There's a lot of people that has been dying every single day. But many people does not choose to think about that because now that's not them. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can't act like the world that you live in revolves around you when nothing is happening to you. But then other people may be going through worse than what you're going through right now. There's a lot of people that are ungrateful, and they don't like to see the truth for what it is because it hurts. They don't want to accept it because they live in a fantasy or a false reality from the things that they wish to believe is true when it's not. Everyone is not going to see the same things you see. You see your own self and your own reflection on your own life that you are given by God. Those of you who believes him or not, I have my respects. At the end of the day, the media is causing fear more than this pandemic, and more of this pandemic that's being blown in our faces. A lot of people are going to be very, very, very gullible. They're going to take things to the next level. And the only thing many people should fear is man themselves and the evil of the world more than the coronavirus. Because I told you, and I told many guys from my last video, my future predictions on the coronavirus pandemic, the crime rates is going to go up. And it's been happening. Ahmaud Arbery died recently, was shot down. There was a lot of other news reports that haven't reached mainstream media, and a lot of people are choosing to ignore that. They play race involved to distract a lot of people, to cause an outbreak. The media never makes a lot of things better. They actually make a lot of things worse. And the people who are controlled of the media and who chooses to say what report goes mainstream or not, they are pushing a negative agenda, which are actually very negative at the same time, because the news reporters and the media knows what they can make money off of to gain a lot of popularity and attention. So they know, oh, the race topic is going to always, the hate topic is going to always, something that's very controversial is going to gain a lot of popularity and attention. And it's in a very sickening way. That's how much a lot of people are brainwashed and controlled to know where to shift all their attention to and throw all their time away to focus on the problems that the media is feeding us instead of finding a solution. Because other news reports aside, when it was black on black crimes, white on white crimes, crimes that happen amongst people of their own races, minor crimes, they never seemed to reach the mainstream media because it was not pushed that far to reach mainstream. Because people did not care as much. But all of a sudden, people will assume that there's a race war that could happen. All this bunch of bullcrap, right? But people does not understand that there are more people that has been dying every year, more than the coronavirus itself. People don't do their research. They don't seem to understand. They automatically think when you get the coronavirus, your life is done. It's over. And I'm not wishing death on anybody. Suicide has been going on every year. There's a lot of statistics on how many deaths per year there is in the U.S. I believe it's over 1 million deaths a year. And most of these cases could be because of the things that I put in the chart right here. This is from the leading comorbidities among the COVID-19 deaths in New York. As an example, it shows you the top reasons of deaths in one state alone. And it shows you the breakdown on the COVID-19 deaths. Okay? So there's a big difference between the diseases and some infections and causes of deaths more than the COVID-19. Instead of people fighting about the cancer, people just do it for the social media likes to take pictures. They don't give a crap about the people who's dying in bed with cancer. There's a lot of people that does not think about that. But people seems to feel like if you're already joining in, then you must be presenting something and doing something positive. There's a lot of people that are fake and they don't even know it or realize it until they really think about it themselves. But if you tell them this and you question their actions, they'll be very defensive because they know you're right. And they're trying to justify what they know is wrong to be right instead. And make excuses for that. And there's a lot of people that will actually stand up for people like this. And it's sickening and sad at the same time because those people are the exact same way. Birds with the same wings flock together. For those of you who actually know what that term is. Okay? And I'll save that for another topic in the future. But right now, the media is causing the outbreak to even burst out a lot more. They're not promoting all the crime rates like that. It's funny how all these things are not reaching mainstream like that. People are moving on like everything's okay. But at the same time, the Ahmaud Arbery death has been the number one trending topic in America today. And as I just mentioned before, the media knows exactly what to promote and what's going to make them a lot of money and gain a lot of recognition and attention. There's a lot of people that's probably behind the scenes laughing and not taking a lot of black people seriously. And I'm black myself. A lot of people are not going to take a lot of things seriously when these riots happen. This is not the first time there was a case where a white cop or another cop of a different race killed a brother, killed a sister, and it was a hate race crime. This is not the first time that there was a riot and people shouted racism stuff. That racist stigma is always going to be there. And those of you who think that, oh, you're probably biased or racist yourself, I'm not. I love everyone. Okay? I respect everyone. I humbly respect others the same way I would respect myself. Okay? And I feel it's only mattering that you respect one another no matter what skin complexion or race or background you came from or where you was born. It all comes down to respect. You respect me and I respect you. Keep your negative thoughts to yourself. That's how I feel. you have any problems with me, I would also keep myself at bay to also protect myself at the same time, because there's many people that does not want to be brought to that light to where they are afraid to hurt someone rather than being afraid of the person that might hurt them. And back to the same topic, there are many deaths of people with diabetes, people with HIV, AIDS, people with different diseases, many diseases that I can't even think of that have caused deaths, liver cancer, many different types of cancer that came from smoking, drug overdose, you name it. So many things that people died from, more than this COVID-19 pandemic. The flu killed more than 1 million people in the US, probably a lot more, just like the plague. All these things, but the media is simply distracting a lot of people. It's funny how I hear all some of the comments my coworkers and people around me says. It makes me think like, all you have to do is do your own research, see things for yourself, to have some sense and decency to say to yourself, how come this is continuing? Is there really a big threat, a big deal about this virus? Of course, it could be a big threat. It could be a big deal. There are people dying, of course. This virus could definitely be the real thing, and it is. But people, like I said, I humbly disagree. This is not a hoax. It's because this crap is happening. If this was a hoax right now, this would have been announced. We don't know the answers. I don't know the answers to everything either. But what I believe in, this is happening. I believe in some conspiracies, but not all of them, because some of them are very, very ridiculous. They're just assumptions after a while. Like, you're just making a guess. You're making your own theory. You're conspirizing what you believe to be true. But then there's no proof. But yes, I agree. There's many things that do make me question what is real or not. So I do have to hand it to some conspiracy theories, and I humbly respect some of them. Like Richie from Boston. I don't agree with a lot of videos, but there's many that I did. And I actually thought to myself, like, he's right. There are military tanks, militaries around. There's a lot of things that people choose to overlook, and they don't know what can happen in the future. And yet many people are focusing more on themselves and the media and just relaxing, like, oh, things will just blow over. But that's what they want you to believe. Things has not blown over, and it's been over 2 months now, and we're about to be in June. I won't be shocked if this quarantine and coronavirus pandemic was to still continue. And the way my coworker said this could last for a few years, I wasn't triggered by that, but at the same time, it's scary to know what can happen, because there are a lot of people out there that'll be thinking about robbing, killing, and stealing from people, because people are not even talking much about how the jail system is releasing a lot of prisoners because of the COVID-19. A lot of prisoners are being released because of this pandemic, so they could distance more. And there's a lot of prisoners that with criminal records that are on the streets. And people are thinking like, oh, well, that's not my problem. And that's the issue right there. It's not your problem until it becomes your problem. More people are dying because of diseases, sexual transmitted diseases, suicide rates, car accidents, job accidents, fires, you name it. But the media is not really talking much about that, as you could see. They're only focusing on the robberies. They're focusing on more of the big major crimes because of this coronavirus pandemic. It's almost like they're feeding off of this, and they're selfishly not caring about the whole society in America itself. At the end of the day, the government is just doing what must be done, just like the president. And all I gotta say is that they don't really care about the people. They care about your vote, but they don't really care about the people themselves. A lot of them don't. I'm just being honest and real with you. They're doing what they have to do because that's their job. If they have no job, and if Donald Trump was not president, he would not give a flying crap or a flying fouchette or whatever you want to say about anybody but himself or his kids or his wife. That's it. And I'm just being honest. I had some people argue with me. They left nasty comments on my videos, being all negative. You gotta look at yourself first and look at the bigger picture for what it is. I said this many times. People is not really questioning what is wrong with this society. And there's a lot of things that's wrong. If I choose to spread the gospel myself, I will do it correctly and involve God no matter where I go. Even the videos that I choose to make, no matter how many views I have, I'll continue to make these type of content to enlighten a lot of people to reality. This is what my Red Pill channel is about. It's not mainly focusing on women. It's not mainly focusing on female nature. I'm not mainly focusing on that. I'm mainly focusing on the things of society and how the world is and how the world works and the evil of the world. I'm cutting open the roots of all evil, the destruction, the politics, the problems with society and people themselves. The problems that people don't realize that they have themselves, yet they choose to not know it or even admit it or acknowledge that it exists. Look at the chart. Question yourself and think about it, because those numbers that of the deaths of this coronavirus pandemic, they could be over exaggerating it to put fear into people to stay home at the same time so they could push this agenda of whatever future they lie to play or they rely on playing over, maybe, and even promoting Bill Gates. And that's all I gotta say. This is Welcome Red Pill here. Peace out. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to my channel. Feel free to follow me. Comment down below. Share the video and like the video. God bless.